Welcome to Business Focus, a production of the Greater Reston Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, LJ Wilson, and today we have Waleed Kamar. He's the co-founder and CEO of MedNav Incorporated. MedNav is a location-based mobile health app built to provide patients real-time information and access to healthcare providers in their area. Thank you for coming to Business Focus, Thank you for coming. I almost called you MedNav.
Thanks for having me.
Waleed, tell me about how MedNav came about.
Sure. So the inception point was back in 2012. It wasn't the best experience, and I'd never recommend it or wish it upon anyone. But I was essentially was a victim of a home invasion, and they used cable wire to tie up my hands. They had a gun to my head, and I was stuck like that for about two and a half hours before I got any sort of help. But that really opened my eyes to healthcare fragmentation because I had pretty bad nerve damage in my arms. I'd have to go to physical therapy 3-4 times a week, and I joke about it now, but I was the king of small maladies. I couldn't turn pages in books because it hurt too much in my arms. I had to get books on audio for my last semester at UConn. And that was the issue. I would have to go to different urgent cares, different hospital systems, and they would never have my medical documentation on file, or it'd be too late, and I'd have to get blood work done again and again. And no live wait times, no way to know where I'm going. So that was the hassle for me. And I saw a real need for it after talking to other individuals. And a few college buddies and I just kind of sat down at one point and decided, you know what, we're going to data scrape information off different RSS feeds from different hospital systems and see if it works. And it did work. It worked really well, but obviously we're all college students. We wanted to go get real jobs. So I shelved the project and revived it last year after I heard back from healthcare associates. So it's been interesting, and it's been a really humbling experience.
Well, you have an amazing story, and you've made what could have been a tragedy into something very special, into something successful. So with that in mind, can you tell me how the MedNav app works?
Sure. So we wanted to keep the user persona in mind and keep it extremely simple. We know we only have your attention span for about 20 seconds. So you're able to put in your zip code, your address, the location type, so the specialty type, I'm sorry. So what kind of doctor do you want to go see, and the insurance. So we pre-populated the database with about 33,000 different doctors and their specialty types, and pinpointed them on a mapping overlay. So once you put in those search parameters, if you think of Expedia.com, you're able to tell Expedia, hey, I can only go fly out between these hours, and this is the location. Show me what you have. And that's how you get the output on MedNav. So that's the application, the logic that we applied to MedNav itself. So it's kind of a combination of Uber and Expedia.com mixed together.
What are some of your current clients? Who is currently using the MedNav app?
So we spoke to about 120 different doctors initially, try to get a little pulse check, figure out their pain points, gripes and grievances. And we reached out to a bunch of chiropractors, and we thought, this is a great plug-in tool because these are individuals that that are looking to drive utilization to their practices, and we picked about 5 or 6 that are early adopters. So Dr. Misra, he's in Ashburn, Virginia. He's one. Dr. Banks and Dr. Misty Paul, they're in Leesburg. Dr. Chris Oliver in Herndon. So a little spread out, Dr. Lee in Arlington. And they really believed in the platform. They allowed us to integrate with their scheduling application, and that actually allowed us to integrate with the largest EMR, electronic management recording system, used by chiropractors. So that was an amazing experience. Wouldn't have happened without them. So pretty exciting.
So who do you hope to help with the MedNav app? I know you described what happened to you, and what is your target?
So, when we initially looked at it, we wanted to touch every individual under the sun, and that's still my ambition. We know we have to scale and start from one market share and go from there. But my pain points, the pain I experience and the things I had to go through, other folks go through on a day-to-day basis. When you have a chronic condition, those are the folks I'd love to have the platform apply, to, because they're the relevant individuals. They have reoccurring issues, preventative cures, of real importance to them. And we wanted to focus on one thing, do it really well, and then reach out to those individuals. And I just came back from the Montgomery County Economic Development Agency. The authority was partnering and talking to us about a partnership with an organization in Montgomery County, and they were talking about hospital systems and integrating this platform into one or two, getting a feel for how we can help a hospital care system with all this consolidation going on. It'd be great to target them at the top and then all the doctors associated. And, it takes, those little drops into the ocean to really get things going, and that's what we're looking for.
So I understand you were a speaker at Yale University. And can you tell me a little bit about what you talked about and in relation to the MedNav app?
Yeah, absolutely. It was that was an amazing experience. So we walked in, did a presentation, and talked about health IT interoperability, which means healthcare fragmentation is so big. There's a structural component with EMRs not really being compatible with each other, and then there's the human element. Healing is defined by relationships and talking about caregivers and getting the stakeholders involved. So that was kind of the conversation we had there. We talked about big data. We talked about health IT. Our Fitbits, the future, and how to incentivize doctors to actually look at that information. And then we talked about MedNav, and there are a lot of folks there that are very passionate and working on their own startups, focusing on social entrepreneurship. And I've seen a lot of that in Fairfax County. I've seen a lot of that up there too, and it was just really encouraging seeing the passion just ooze out of people. It really reinforces what you're doing. And I ran into an individual, he's a postdoc, PhD, MD, and he's working on his own app, to focus on preventative care, to help doctors figure out how do we, diagnose this condition. So it's almost like a Wikipedia for physicians. And, we talked about it for hours, and it was great, so it's such an interesting field, and really getting the word out there about health IT is, I think that's, my passion, and our team in general, that's what we're passionate about.
So does your company have any specific nonprofits or areas that you support currently?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we looked at was, this is such a vibrant community within Fairfax, Northern Virginia, and we reached out to a few organizations who really liked what we're doing. So Our Daily Bread, we spoke with the Tiger Lily Foundation, and we reached out to the Adams Center, and then there are a few others, and just getting their feedback, the Western Fairfax Christian Ministry, and partnering with them because they focus on health and wellness for individuals, and we're promoting the same cause.
Well, Waleed, thank you for joining me today. If you are interested in learning more about the MedNav app, please visit www.mednavdc.com. Again, this is Waleed Kamar. He's the co-founder and CEO of MedNav Incorporated, a location-based mobile health app. And I'm your host, LJ Wilson, and thank you for watching Business Focus.